Alright guys, so if you missed the linear inequality notes, I just wanted to go through them so that you could see them. Or if you just need a refresher, this will be a great video to watch as well. So, inequality signs. This first one that we have, this one is called our less than sign. The next one that we have is called our less than or equal to sign. Okay, that little bar that we add underneath is the equal to symbol. The next two is our greater than sign. And then the last one is our greater than or equal to sign. Okay, so hopefully these look a little bit familiar to you. All right, let's take a look at this first example. It says, write an inequality for the mystery number x. Miss B is thinking of a number. The sum of her number and 3 is less than 8. So breaking this down, sum of her number and 3, which the number is x, so x plus 3. Following that, we have is less than. Okay, so then we're going to use our less than symbol. And then the last thing here is just the number 8, so x plus 3 is less than 8. What range of numbers makes this inequality true? Well, we can solve this algebraically. We would do x plus 3 is less than 8, subtract 3 from both sides, and then we can say x is less than 5. So we can treat them very similarly to an equal sign. Okay? What this says is that I want all numbers less than 5. How do we show this graphically? Well, on a number line, if it's just a less than sign or a greater than sign, we use an open circle. So right here at 5, we're going to put an open circle. And then if I want all of the numbers less than that, I'm going to go to the left with my line. Okay, so then let's talk about actually writing these things. So a little bit of words to math practice. So x less than 3. This is actually not an inequality. Okay, we've actually talked about x less than 3. So we have 3, and then if it's x less than that number, we're going to go 3 minus x. So this one is just to say there's a difference between less than and is less than. Okay, is less than tells us that x is less than 3. That's when we use our inequality symbol. And the change is that is, right? The first one doesn't have is. Okay, y is at most negative 5. When we say at most, it's talking about a maximum value. So that is saying negative 5 is the biggest thing that we want. So then everything has to be less than or equal to that value. Okay, so y is less than or equal to negative 5. The maximum value of 4x minus 6 is 54. So again, we're talking about a maximum. In this case, 54 is the maximum. So we would say 4x minus 6 is less than or equal to 54. Okay. The last one here, 6 less than a number. So we can say a number minus 6 is greater than, so then our greater than symbol, twice the same number. So then we would say twice the same number. So that's 2 times n. Okay, so then that would be g. Write the inequality represented by the graph. So in this case, we have a closed circle. So we haven't talked about this, but closed circle means equal to. Okay, and then because there's an arrow to the left, that means it's going to be less than, right? So this is less than symbol. So then our x value, or what we want, x, is less than or equal to 0. Okay? So let's do some of these. Graph the following on a number line. This says d is less than 3. So at 3, we put an open circle. For less than, it's we want all of the values less than 3. So that would be like 2, 1, 0. So then we draw our line to the left. This next one is a little bit trickier. This says negative 3 is greater than or equal to g. So at negative 3, we're closed circle. It's saying that negative 3 is bigger than or greater than all of the numbers that I want. Okay, so this arrow is actually going to go to the left. One way to read this is to read it backwards. So if you read it this way, it would say g is less than or equal to negative 3. Okay, so if you read it backwards, that will help you figure out which way to point the arrow. All right, so The next part says solve and graph the following inequality. So something special happens because the first thing we do here is multiply by negative. So we multiply by -3 here, we get x. And when we do this, when we multiply or divide by a negative, we have to flip this sign. So x is less than or equal to -2 times -3, +6. Okay? So then x is less than or equal to +6. We graph it, so +6 is here. My x is less than or equal to, so it's all these values to the left. Why flip the inequality sign? Okay, let's talk about it. So let's first say flip whenever we multiply or divide by negative. Okay, so that's super important. That's when we flip. And then let's show why. Okay, let's just use a number example. We're going to use what we just had. Let's say x is equal to 3 in this question that we just did. So if x was equal to 3, we would have 3 divided by -3 is greater than or equal to -2. Okay, so when we do this, yes, -1 is greater than or equal to -2. That's totally true. But what happens if we multiply that -3 to the other side? When you do that, if you didn't flip the sign, what would happen is you would have 3 is greater than or equal to +6. This is not a true statement. So when we multiplied by that negative, we had to flip the sign to get a true statement. Now 3 is less than or equal to +6. Okay? So that's why we have to flip the sign. All right. Continuing on. So just a couple solving examples here. We're going to solve for x. We would subtract 4. So 4 is less than or equal to 4x. Divide by 4. And we get 1 is less than or equal to x. So we go 1, close circle. This is saying 1 is less than or equal to. So all of my values are bigger than 1. So it's going this way. Remember, you can rewrite this, right? You could say x greater than 1. So x is greater than or equal to 1. As long as the inequality is eating the variable, okay, as long as the inequality is still eating the same side, so in this case it's eating the x, in our new case that we built, still eating the x, we're still good. Right? So this is saying I want all values of x greater than or equal to 1. All right, next example. So let's combine like terms first. 8 plus 9n is greater than 7n minus 8n gives us -n minus 2. Okay, let's keep our n's positive, so I'm going to add it over. 8 plus 10n is greater than -2, minus 8 from both sides. 10n is greater than -10, and then we divide by 10. We get n is greater than -1. Okay, notice no sign flip because this is a positive number we're dividing by. Even though this is negative, the operation that's being done is a positive value. Okay, so we have n greater than -1, so open circle at -1, and then we're going to go to the right. All right, last example here. So let's distribute this -5 in here. -5 minus 30x minus 6x is greater than 175. Combine like terms, so -5 minus 36x is greater than 175. Add 5 to both sides, that's going to be -36x is greater than 180. And then we divide by -36 from each side. Okay, when we divide -36 and 180, what's that going to give us? I think that's x less than -5. Remember, divide by negative, sign flips, so we have to go less than. So -5, open circle, and then we're drawing to the left. Okay, so those are just a couple solving examples. Lastly, looking here, we have a couple word problem examples. So you must be 16 years or older to get your driver's license. So 16 is the value. You can be 16, so we would close circle. And then you could be older than 16, right? So you can be all of these values above 16, 17, 18, 19, etc. Okay? If we had to draw this as an inequality, we would say x is greater than or equal to 16. For the last example here, it says Jack loves playing Fortnite. He bought the battle pass for $8 and purchases new skins for $15 each. His budget for Fortnite is $45. Write an inequality to represent the scenario. Okay, so buys the battle pass $8, one-time fee. So that's $8 plus $15 each skin tells us what we're multiplying by, so 15 times X. His total budget is $45, so the amount that he spends has to be less than or equal to $45. So that would be the equation that models this scenario. It's asking us what's the maximum amount he can buy and stay within his budget, so then it's asking us to solve for X. Okay, so we subtract 8 from both sides. We get 15x is less than or equal to 37. Okay, and then from here we're going to divide both sides by 15. So 37 divided by 15 gives you 2.467. Okay, and then that is going to be x is going to be less than or equal to that, right? So we can at most buy 2 skins. So 2 skins is the maximum amount that Jack can buy. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions. Shoot me a message on Canvas or email me. Either one is great. But yeah, have a great day.